All right, so today I think we have an unboxing of a pretty expensive pair of sneakers. I honestly don't know though, because when you buy from these random sites, they don't give you any shipping confirmations or anything like that 99% of the time. So no idea what this is. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Only authentic products from big box retailers: Nike, Adidas directly, Champs, Foot Locker, Final Score, which is actually an affiliate of Foot Locker, and so on. So just wanted to throw out that disclaimer out there. For these type of sneakers though, in this box, I never post links of where to buy them. If you guys want to buy these type of things, it's really on you guys to decide if you want to do that, and you guys need to search the interwebs yourself. However, I will tell you, it's not easy to do. There's always scams going on. I've had my credit card hacked once already from some of these sites. Not really a good look at all. So something to keep in mind out there. You got to be really careful. A lot of these sites pop up and then they get shut down because they're selling illegal merchandise. Now, I'm allowed to buy this merchandise. I'm not allowed to sell it. According to the US, I'm allowed to buy fake merchandise, but again, I can't sell it. So I'm buying this with the intent to show you what you get when you buy some of these fake sneakers out there, especially the high-end expensive versions of some of these shoes, and just to give me a really close in-hand look at the replica product, because it is a replica. It's not authentic at all. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys are all aware of those things. So before we get any further, let's go ahead and open the package here. One of the fun things to note, it actually has a packing slip in here. It actually says Saudi Arabia on the thing, and then it says shoes from China. I don't really know what's going on. I do know it says the total value of the inside of the box is $85. Pretty sure I spent more than that though. So they always kind of underplay the value when they ship it. The other thing is, a lot of these sites make you pay insurance to buy the products from them. That way, if they get confiscated, like, you can get your money back. So it's like an additional insurance that you have to buy on the product, which is super shady if that doesn't give you any inclination. And speaking of shady, I'm waiting on a couple pairs for 2 months now that have never got to me that I bought. So again, these sites are crazy bad. So buyer beware 1000%. I would stay away from these things, but that's why I do these videos, for you guys' sake. Okay, so this is the one that I was expecting to be, and you can see it comes in an Adidas box. It's like, why not? If there's any indication that your product that you're buying is not coming from an authentic source, that's a pretty good one right there. It has Adidas, and it's a fake Adidas box on that, but anyway, let's take a look. They really jam these things in here too. I don't know how they do it. All right, so here is the box, and you can see what it is right here. So for those that don't know, this box is a Nike SB box, and inside is a pair of something that they call the Chunky Dunkies, a pair that I've actually really wanted to get, and I haven't pulled the trigger on the authentic pair yet, but I will be doing that in July. So planning on getting these really soon so I can do a side-by-side comparison of the fakes and the real pair. But let's not wait any further. Dig right in and look. This is it. Taking a look in the box real quick. I mean, the box feels pretty substantial. It feels like a regular box. This is it though. Let me double check and see how much I paid for these, because I don't remember. So I believe total price on these shipped was like $160, $170. And here we have them. This is the Chunky Dunky Nike Dunk SBs. Got to give it a smell test first. It definitely doesn't smell like regular Nike Dunks. I mean, anytime you get a pair of fake sneakers, 99% of the time the smell is just a little bit off. Whether it be the materials, the rubber used in the rubber on the outsole, or the glue, something is always a little bit off on these. Like, it definitely has like a cheap vinyl plastic smell to it, and I'm assuming that's what's partially on these uppers. But shoot, in hand though, and like in camera, I'm sure this looks pretty darn close to the real thing. They got a lot of really good details on this shoe, for those that are wondering. So I bought a men's 9.5, and on the box even, you could see right there, there's a little code. And I always was wondering why they have this little code here and they don't try to use this in a better manner, like to authenticate the product. But here's the code. When you scan it, it's just a qr.nike.com, and it takes you right to Nike's website. So, I mean, I think that that's a misleading to some people because it looks like it's real because it's working. For those that don't know how that stuff works, which I personally don't know how it works, I feel like this is something that they need to improve on again. They should be able to authenticate the products through some of the tagging and stuff that they have out there. I don't know why they don't honestly want to do that. It's kind of ridiculous. So the resale of these are going for $1,500 roughly in my size. And so like 160, I mean, obviously that's a way different price point. And so for those people that like to fake it and don't want to wait to buy the real thing because you missed out at retail, you know, I get why people would want to do it. So as I'm looking this shoe over a little bit more, I don't have the real pair again to compare to. I have just another pair of Dunks. And I mean, they're doing a really crazy close job of replicating the real thing on the fake pairs. I can't wait to get a real pair in my hands so I can compare really close side by side, because this is getting kind of scary and impressive. Now, it shouldn't be that much of a surprise because you have a pair of Nike Dunks that are 30 plus years old that they're able to improve on every single revision. But the fact that they get all the details right, I mean, they obviously are doing it for a purpose because they're creating counterfeit goods and they want it to be as close to the real thing as possible. The one thing that I would say, if I had a guess, looked a little bit and felt a little bit off, is the leather material that they used underneath here. Is it's vinyl feeling. It doesn't feel like real leather, and I don't know if on the real pair if it's real leather or not, but the stuff on the toe box is really sticky weird. The stuff behind the swoosh is just really slippery, and same around the back section. They do even have the stitching around the clouds though. I mean, they really have pretty crazy details. Then you have that cow fur material, which I don't know what they actually use to make it in the real pair or on the fake pair, but it does have that fake cow print look and it feels like cow hairy, like if that's a word. Then you have that drippy Nike swoosh right here that looks pretty decent as well. And I'm not sure how the quality is on the swoosh on the real pair either, but these retailed at $100. So I'm not imagining a crazy premium product for $100 retail price point, especially when you have such a ridiculously dope theme for that price. It lets me wonder, like, why are we paying so much for all these themed stories and shoes when Nike released a really dope one for $100? Hopefully they'll continue the trend and make more like this. The liner of the shoe is actually kind of impressive. It doesn't feel like too cheap of a knockoff of the real thing. You do even have the tie-dye piping around the tongue. Then you have Nike SB Chunky Dunky on the tongue on one side. On the other side it says Ben & Jerry's. If it's not fun, why do it? And yeah, I mean, again, feels pretty darn realistic. It comes with white laces and then extra laces of green and yellow. There's a little bit of loose threads here and there up in the front section here, also on the Nike that's embroidered on the back. But again, something that you find on retail pairs as well. So I got the insoles out, and again, pattern looks really good. You do have the little forefoot cushioning up top, and then there is a zoom stack, or it appears to be a zoom stack on the butt. But let's take out one of these ones and compare. This is my Pigeon Dunks. These are the fake pair. And if you didn't know, some of the Nike Dunks do have Nike Air zoom stacks embedded in the insoles of the shoes. So that was one thing I wanted to pull out and compare side by side. So you can see on the fake pair, the cutout is a little bit different on the top part versus this one, but that could just be the years that they were produced. I have to really have a real pair side by side. The one thing I will say is, and this is hilarious, but the zoom stack on the fake pair is bigger than the one on the real pair, and it's actually softer and squishier than the real zoom is. So not a good look, but I mean, this is a pretty soft and squishy zoom pocket in the back here. Kind of interesting, but again, I really need to compare it to the real thing. Underneath the insole, there's a little bit of yellow glue and then some extra loose strings here and there. I mean, like I said, the smell is a little bit off on these things, but man, they are really close to the real thing. If I look at the soles side by side, I mean, they look really close. The stitching and the rubber and stuff on the outsole feels like it's pretty much right. I don't know, you guys be the judge. These are really close though. I will have a real pair to compare to. Part of the reason why I really like to do these videos is just so you guys know that they have really close carbon copies to the original pairs that Nike releases. And the thing is, these companies, they can release more pairs and more pairs. And if there's a couple things here and there that they didn't like, maybe the wave was a little off or the stitching was a little too high in one pair, they'll correct that in the next version of the shoe. Nike is a one and done sort of thing. They create the shoe once, it's released, they move on to the next release. So the advantage of these companies is they can perfect the product to make it one-to-one as close as they can get it over and over again, 3 or 4 or 5 different versions. Years later, they're still making the fake pairs of sneakers that have already released. So what I'm saying is you got to really be careful. If you're wanting to buy the authentic thing, buy them from trusted sources. If you see a price on eBay that looks like it's right, but it's coming from somebody that has 3 feedback, that's probably not somebody you're going to want to buy from. If it's too good to be true, it is. That's what I always say. But really, you just have to be careful and try to make sure you're doing your homework out there before you pull the trigger in a panic buy because you think a deal is just, again, really too good. And so can we trust places like StockX and GOAT and Collect and consignment shops and all these other places that get these type of sneakers brought to them on a regular basis? I'm sure of it, for people trying to maximize their profits by cheating the system. I think that yes, you can trust some of these places, but also some of these places can make mistakes. StockX has gone on record in the past and said, yeah, mistakes happen, not 100% success rate. And the only thing that can happen out of there is if they get called out, eventually they end up getting a return. So yeah, I'd say you could trust certain places like consignment shops and other places, but it's not 100% sure that they're going to get it right every single time. Somebody could be having an off day. Somebody could be rushing through trying to authenticate too many items. One slips through, and just like that, they've entered the gateway of what they think is like real sneakers. One thing I didn't see on these that I've seen a lot of fake pairs come with is that StockX tag. So they didn't include a StockX tag on these anymore. I think ultimately the way that this problem can be corrected is if Nike takes the responsibility and authenticates their product. That's it. Cars have VIN numbers, like shoes could have a VIN number with a paper trail of historical buyers even for that shoe that could all be kept on record potentially online with those numbers. So I feel like there has to be a way for Nike to step up and make that happen. Look at the resurgence of basketball and baseball cards, and look at these one-of-ones that are being created out there. Like, how do you feel if you got one of those out of a package that's selling for $500, $1,000, $5,000 for some of these baseball or basketball cards that people are getting? And then if you see similar to this, there is an underground market where they're creating replicas of those, and you get caught buying a fake baseball card. Like, those type of things in that hobby space are not something that people take lightly if they're really trying to get the authentic product. So be really careful if you're out there trying to buy the real pairs. These fakes are getting ridiculously good. Anyways, hopefully this video was insightful to those people that are looking to buy a pair. Just be careful out there. If you guys like the video, drop a like on the video, and hopefully I'll be able to get a real pair in hand and compare them. I'm trying to buy a pair from StockX or Collect or one of these sites, and it's a gamble. It's a little small percentage of gamble to get a real thing, especially when these things are getting so close. But I'm sure there'll be some things here and there I'll be able to look at from the real pair and the fake pair and go, okay, this is like a key identifier of something that is not right. Anyway, subscribe if you guys are new to my channel, notification bell to be notified of when my videos are posted. Have a good rest of the day. We'll see you guys for some more videos soon. Peace, guys.